Here with Promoter Eddie Hearn on the eve of another big night of boxing for you this Saturday night in Atlantic City. Your guy Gavin Rees taking on Adrien Broner. You said, I guess you used the word abusive. Never heard the word abusive used in that context. The odds against Rees. What are your thoughts, and what do you give your man chances on Saturday night?
Well, he's a huge outsider. You know, there's no point saying anything different because he is. The odds will show you that. But the odds are abusive because this is a guy who's a British European former world champion. It's the toughest fight of Adrien Broner's career. I really believe that. And no one knows how good Adrien Broner is. He may be good, he may be exceptional. But Gavin Rees will give him one hell of a fight on Saturday night. And, you know, he's here, he's been here for 4 weeks. He's a great fighter. He's going to pose different kinds of threats than what Broner's faced before. And if Broner wants to take him lightly, which maybe he is, then he's going to be in trouble.
You guys, Matchroom Sports, have quickly, well not quickly, over the past few years, probably put on the best fights in Great Britain. You just had a tremendous fight this past Saturday night with Frampton and Kiko Martinez. Talk about that fight for the few fans that didn't see that.
It's unbelievable. You know, we had 8,000 there in the Odyssey Arena in Belfast. Now, what you guys all know the myths about Irish fighters and their fight fans, probably the most passionate in the world. Frampton's a real star, you know, of the 122-pound division. He dismantled Kiko Martinez in 9 rounds, never even been down before Kiko, and Frampton KO'd him. He's going to be a future world champion. You know, he's got the mentor, Barry McGuigan, behind him. The whole story is perfect. But it was a hell of a night. It's
funny, a lot of fans are talking about the 126-pound fight that can't be made between Donaire and Maris. There's a big fight at 122 pounds between Quigg now and Frampton. What are the prospects of that fight happen?
Well, ideally, I'd like that fight to be for the world title. And, you know, Carl Frampton's not in the sport to fight Scott Quigg. Carl Frampton's in the sport to win world titles. There's an interesting IBF title fight taking place this Friday. We'd love the winner. If not, hopefully we can get nominated for a final eliminator. Win a world title, then a huge fight with Quigg. That's the way it should be done. But I always worry about that kind of route, that maybe they'll never get made at all. So we've made offers to Quigg which haven't materialised. Maybe they'll come again, but that's a huge fight that everyone wants to see.
You know, we're going to jump ahead for a minute. May 25th, the big rematch in London. You just announced it last week. Carl Froch, Mikkel, Kessler, already a huge buzz in London and all throughout the United Kingdom on that fight. Talk about it.
17,000 tickets sold in 3 hours. That says it all, you know. Just a great fight. So many fights are built on hype. That's not. Just watch Froch Kessler 1. You know, that's all you have to do. 2 great fighters, 2 great warriors. 1 3-time champion of the world, 1 5-time champion of the world. Unification fight, WBA, IBF world titles on the line. Doesn't get any bigger, you know. It's about time we had a massive night for British boxing like that again, and Froch deserves this big night, and I think he's going to stop Kessler.
I know you and Carl become pretty close over the past couple of years. How much has that first fight been gnawing at him, and did he give you like flat out orders to make that rematch?
Yeah, he wants it bad, and I think that's the difference. Kessler wants to win the fight. Froch needs to win the fight. You know, he needs it for his legacy. He needs it in his mind. He lost that first fight. I had it real close. I think if the fight was in the UK, he might have got the nod, you know. But Froch is desperate, you know. He had a face-off with him, and he just turned to me and he said, "Oh, there's no way he's beating me. No way." You know, I think that could be the difference in the night. He'd rather be stretched out of the ring than lose that fight again, and I think that'll be the difference.
Since that first fight, Kessler, I would say he's gone, you know, maybe lost a step, but he's been injury-prone. He was dropped in the first round against Alan Green. I don't know if he's looked the same. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I think he's been a little bit flat. You know, he's had fairly easy fights, if you like. I mean, Boudla, Alan Green, and even Brian McGee, you know, not the same sort of levels that Froch has had recently in Ward, Butte and Amak, which was a little bit easier. But I think Froch has gone like that since the Ward fight, and Kessler's just stayed static. You know, he's very dangerous. He's a great boxer. He's a tremendous puncher. But Froch has got a great chin, you know, and so has Kessler. So I think it's just going to be one of those ones where maybe the first couple of rounds just a little bit cagey, and then I think they're just going to stand in front of each other and knock lumps out of each other. It's going to be a great night.
You also have a great doubleheader coming up March 30th on Well TV. Bellew is fighting Chilemba and Matthews Corolla, the rematch of the 2012 British Fight of the Year.
Can't wait for that card. You know, we've already sold through 6,000 tickets already for that. Bellew Chilemba, the winner, fighting Pascal and Dawson. Great fight. You know, a lot taking Chilemba quite lightly. He's a great fighter. And Corolla against Matthews, the rematch of the fight of the year. If you haven't seen that one, watch the first fight. Tremendous. There's some massive fights taking place in the UK right now. And it's a real buzz time for British boxing.
And you said buzz time, but last week you probably had a big buzzkill with the second postponement of the Devin Alexander-Kell Brook fight. Yeah, any news regarding that, when this fight could possibly be rescheduled for the third time?
No, I just spoke to David Itzkovich from Golden Boy. I said, look, any news, and they're waiting. To be fair to Golden Boy, it is difficult, you know. I mean, when a fighter gets injured, you've got to look for a new venue, new date, maybe try and bolt it onto something else, you know. So we're pushing, we need to know. We don't want a vacant title. You know, we want to fight Devin Alexander. That's who Kell's been training for. That's the fight we want. And I'm not sure whether he wants it anymore. You know, I think that he's seen how Kell's been training. He's heard the stories about his sparring. He's so pumped, so focused. And maybe he's thinking, you know, this is a 50-50 fight. Do I need this fight? I could go and have a bigger fight for bigger money for the same kind of odds. I don't know. We don't really know what's happening. Maybe he's just injured. You know, that's the likely scenario, but...
Well, I guess you probably had an unpleasant morning. It was about a week ago. You probably woke up hearing your probably text messages were blown up, probably about Devin Alexander being named with Floyd Mayweather. When you first heard that, kind of get a little perturbed about that?
No, I went like that, and then I thought, oh, I see, it's a smokescreen to try and drive Guerrero into taking the fight. That's the first thing I thought. Two guys managed by Al Heyman. No, I didn't really take much notice of that. And then, you know, the IBF have already stated he can't have that fight. We've got a signed contract. The next fight for both of those men has to be against each other. If not, they'll forfeit their positions. I.e., Devin Alexander will lose his title, or Kell Brook will lose his mandatory position. So, and if we fight for a vacant title, we fight for a vacant title. But Kell doesn't want to fight for a vacant title against a lesser opponent. He wants to fight Devin Alexander. So we have to wait and see.
As we start off the interview, probably the most active promoters in the United Kingdom. What else you got going on?
Just non-stop, you know. We've got Rees, Broner this Saturday, we've got prize fight to the heavyweights next weekend, we've got Darren Barker returning on March the 9th, we've got March the 30th in Liverpool, and we've got Frampton back out soon, we've got our new light middleweight Brian Rose who's going to be debuting for us in April, Froch Kessler on May the 25th. It's just non-stop action in the UK right now. Well,
Eddie, so we always watch your fights. We've seen them on all different networks, whether it's Showtime, HBO, Well TV. We'll see you soon.
Will do, can't wait.
Thanks, Eddie. Thank you very much.